Welcome back to the latest episode of the Key and Mang audio experience. I'm your host, Mang, as always, and my fellow co-host, Key. Key, what's Gucci?
What's up? How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great too. Slow morning, having my coffee, second cup. It's a nice day, so I'm excited.
Nice. I just got back from basketball, so yeah, I'm awake now. I'm ready to go. Ready to go.
Good.
But I'm excited for this one because we have two guests with us today. I know it's been a while since we've had a guest, but the first of 2025, we have a mother and daughter force in entrepreneurship, Gillian and Jane Utesch. Entrepreneurship is woven in their family. Gillian's the CEO of Broken Glass Ceiling Marketing, and her 16-year-old daughter Jane is the creative force behind Card My Yard Raleigh, and they're redefining what it means to lead with innovation and heart. So, Jane and Jillian, thank you so much for joining us. How are you guys today?
I'm good. Yeah, it's a beautiful day outside. I have four installs today, so that should be exciting.
Yeah, you got
Yes, doing great. I always like when she has installs on beautiful weather versus the last few installs have been a little snowy, so this is a good relief.
it. You guys get snow in North Carolina?
We just got like a lot of, for us, it was a lot of snow, but it was probably like 2 inches.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So we like to start our show with a little this or that. We go around and ask, you got to pick one or the other. You can't pick both. And so, would you rather, or this or that, cooking together or ordering takeout?
Take out.
I was gonna say, I know yours, hands down, is
Take
takeout.
out.
Mine's definitely cooking together.
What's your go-to takeout? Sorry, I'm gonna say takeout because I eat while I'm cooking. So by the time I'm done, I'm not hungry and my meal's all messed up. So takeout.
I'm going cooking together. I think it's more enjoyable, even though it takes a little more time. But you have fun, you talk and you conversate and you make good food, enjoy it along the way. So that's my answer.
Yeah, can't go wrong with either.
What's
That's
your
a
guys'
good point.
go-to takeout, Jane?
Oh, Chipotle. I
I
always get Chipotle. I've had it
Mhm.
for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner one time.
Oh, that's crazy.
the
That's
same
great.
thing.
I get the same thing every single time.
I mean, for
All right.
years now, like she has not wavered with her Chipotle, just, I mean, on a mission.
You can't go wrong with Chipotle.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but for breakfast, lunch, and dinner though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
that's an aside for another time. Jane, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you just first got started in entrepreneurship?
Yeah. I go to North Carolina Christian Academy. I play tennis with my friends sometimes. I love hanging out with my friends. Yeah. So, I first started Card My Yard when I realized that I have zero money. I have no money to get a car, no money for college. And I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know how I'm supposed to like live my life if I don't have money. Um, and so I got a job at Subway and it wasn't really good fit for me. I did not really enjoy it that much. But I think it was good experience, like customer service wise. And it just wasn't a good experience. And then my parents, they saw an ad on Facebook for the Car My Yard franchise, and they're like, "This is a great idea for you." So I was a little nervous. I was like, "No, I'm not doing this. You can't make me. I'm not doing this." And then we thought through the process. We thought like the financial standpoint of it, and like the opportunities that it could give me. And I was like, "Yeah, that's the idea." So now I'm doing that.
You weren't
And it's
really
fun.
vibing on the Subway schedule. It was really
hmm
cribbing your social style. That was the
hmm
main beef.
Yeah, yeah, not like
But you
that.
have a little bit more control over your schedule now with Card My Yard and kind of when you can do the installs and
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Can you
What
go ahead, Key? Go ahead, Key.
I was just curious as to what the schedule was like at Subway for you being 16. Like what was that like?
Well, I actually did not work that much. I only worked on Sundays. Um, and it was like right after I went to church, so I would have to like rush over there to work and change into my subway uniform. And it wasn't that bad from like how many days I had to work, but it was really gross.
Well, you realized that you couldn't get enough hours after school
I would,
because you had
yeah.
tennis after school and then you had like social things you were trying to do. So you can't really go to Subway and work for like 30 minutes and be like, all right, peace out, y'all. I did my 30 minutes and now I got to go. So that wasn't really working. And then she'd work for her Sunday shifts and make like $100 a month. And that wasn't really going to get you far for your car. And you had kind of done the math and realized, $100 times 4 million months, then I can have a car. And so I think that's kind of what had you open-minded. And even when I saw the advertisement for Card My Yard, I wasn't looking for a franchise. I wasn't looking for that as our solution. I just knew that what we were currently doing wasn't working. So I was open to something different. And so when this came along, I said, well, here's something different. Let's flush it through and see if this is the different we're looking for.
Can you tell us a little bit about what Card My Yard is for those who are unfamiliar with what it is and what you do?
Yeah, it's these stakes for it's like signs that you put in the ground, and we have happy birthday, congratulations. We have so many other holidays. Oh, we have a Mardi Gras sign today. Yeah, so we mostly do happy birthdays though. And yeah, we usually have one like every day.
We can celebrate any life
Any,
milestone. It can say anything that you want to say. Why don't you talk about the cancer survivor?
oh yeah, we had this mom, she just finished her chemo and they wanted to put a sign up for her when she came home. So that was good. We also had a divorce party. Um, we did that. What else have we
Well,
done?
it said our mama is a queen. So when mama came home from her last chemo, that's what she saw in the yard. And, we love sharing those moments. And it's just so nice to share in these milestones with folks that normally might just be a quick snapshot, but now they can share it with their friends and their neighbors with this large graphic in their yard, not only with letters, but with images. And folks get to choose what kind of image they want to have go with the letters, whether it's what kind of images did you have for your birthdays today for your little kiddos?
We usually always have a birthday cake. We have birthday present. We can have like balloons, like
He
fireworks,
liked superheroes. We had
superheroes.
ballet dancer.
Yeah, we had a dancer. We had just like
Whatever
just
folks' kind of
yeah.
interests are, we can put those in. And it's always fun when we get really like unique requests, like hiking and things like that. We're like, oh, we have 2,100 individual graphics. So whenever we get one that we don't have, it's like, oh, we need to add hiking or fishing to our graphics collection that we have.
Do you customize the graphics that you use? Like, can you customize one that's not available already?
We can order them through corporate, but because we're a franchise, they use a graphic kind of I don't say a model, but so that they're all kind of curated to look the same motif, we'll say. We can't
Mhm.
just go to a local like sign shop and have one printed, but we can order them through corporate. The only thing we can't have is like Disney type characters or football kind of things like that. But aside from that, we can order anything that we need to have for someone.
That's cool. I think I saw on Facebook because when you guys reached out, I was like, this sounds similar to something my cousin had done. So she lives in Georgia and her daughter was turning, I think like 3 or 4, and she put up these huge signs in the neighborhood in front, not in the neighborhood, but in front of her house, and like driving through the neighborhood, you can see it. So something similar is probably Card My Yard.
Probably. They're all over. And it has been like there were benefits I thought we were going to get. Once we really started flushing through the idea and I'd gotten my husband on board with the idea, because just imagine that conversation. It's like, he's coming home from work and we're sitting down to dinner. It's like, hey, babe, so I got this idea. Let's buy. And she was 16 at that time. And, usually you're prepared for, let's buy our 16-year-old a car. Or let's, start her college savings plan. It was, let's buy her a franchise. He was like, I'm sorry, crazy. Like, where are you coming with this? So as we kind of got through those conversations and we're kind of thinking through what we thought the positive outcomes would be and what we thought the challenges would be, as we've gone through this journey, the challenges I thought we'd have really haven't been the challenges, and the positive outcomes have been so much more, just opportunities like this, being able to practice our public speaking and to engage with folks in ways that most now 17-year-olds don't get to engage, has just been opportunities I'm so grateful that Jane has, and that I really encourage other families that might be listening. Think of ways to kind of think outside the box and give your kids opportunities to learn and to grow in ways that you don't necessarily get in the classroom. I know that Jane has had to really learn to trust in ways. She went on vacation with her dad for a week, and one of her friends, you may want to talk about when you went on vacation, you had to kind of leave your baby, your business, to one of your friends to take care of.
Yeah, I was so stressed. I was like planning ahead. I was like, hey, can you come in? Can you do my signs for me for the week? Because I was going on a cruise, which was really fun. So she was like, of course I'll do that. And it was really stressful. On the cruise, I was trying to like have my peace, try to like, I'm on vacation. This is my week. I can actually not do anything. And but I just couldn't. I could not stop focusing on the signs. And I literally got a fat pimple because I was so scared. I was so
A stress
stressed.
symbol.
It, it was bad. But she did fine, I guess.
No, no, she didn't. You were so upset. Like, don't even try to play. Like, you can't even. I know she'll watch this. Like, but I know. But she was texting me the whole time. Like, and of course, her dad's like, "We're not getting the text package. Like, you're going to be fully like in the moment on the cruise." And Jane would like,
Any chance I got.
like she'd like climb the mast of the ship and like get like service. And she's texting me and she's like, "How's it going? Like, how are the signs going? Like, are my customers happy? Are people send me photos?" Because Jane is very particular. Like, I would not be good at Card My Yard. I would just probably like get the signs in the yard and be like, it says happy birthday. It's fine. They get the gist of it. Jane has them all completely like aligned, like a laser level, like on the bottom of all the letters. And so she's wanting to see the pictures from her friend and make sure, and there's this kind of this fluff on the side, that the different graphics for each customer that are in the motif that they want. And she goes, "Oh, well, that fluff is not a rain stripe. There's not enough fluff on that one. I don't like how she did those balloons." So she's critiquing each sign that comes through. Meanwhile, her friend is coming home because we keep the signs in our garage. And so she's coming in between signs, and her hair is just disheveled. Her shirt's like off her shoulder. And I'm like, "Molly, what happened?" She goes, "This job is so hard. I fell down a hill like 3 times. It was covered in pine straw, and these little kids across the street on their play set were laughing at me, and I couldn't get the sign in the yard." So it's been a fun journey, I think, for everyone. But from that, you were like, "I'm never going on vacation again. I'm never." And I mean, as an entrepreneur, I feel that way. I feel like I can't go on vacation because no one's going to run my business the way I run it or take care of things the way I do. So, and this is someone who will not clean her room. She thinks folding her laundry, this is folding her laundry. So for her to have taken such a level of ownership and responsibility over something it's been really nice to watch and see.
No, that's awesome. Jen, what was it like for you when you're the first person you got the opportunity to card their yard? What was that? Do you remember what that feeling was like of knowing I got my first client?
Yes. She was so stressed. She she was like stress typing on her phone. She was like, "You have to do the sign, like you have to go now. Like we have to be there in like 30 minutes, like you have to go." And it turned out to be perfectly fine. I got there on time, came back on time.
We had to work through
Yeah.
our process, like kind of going back to our original, I think with the original question about our installation. We now install between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m. which was not always the case. We would our business was kind of running us at the beginning. If customers wanted us to install at 10:30, because that's when their kiddo would go to bed or that kind of thing, that's what we were doing. So we kind of had some fun situations like that, and so we were kind of trying to get things sorted in that regard. So there's a lot of stress on my part to make sure, okay, how are we going to have light? How are we going to have the car headlights line up? Or how are we going to get this sorted? And after we kind of built our confidence and started kind of just getting things aligned and setting the proper customer expectations with things like that, things have really kind of smoothed out from my stress. But why don't you talk about that install that before we kind of changed our times?
Yeah, so this one lady asked us to install her sign at 10. So her kid would be asleep. So I did another install before that, so I could like do it back to back. So I did that install, and it was also a really long install. It took me way longer than I expected. So I got to the other customer's house at around 11 o'clock. And once I got to the customer's house at 11, I realized I didn't have my hammer, and I literally cannot put a sign in without like having my
Why don't
hammer.
you talk about what you do with your hammer?
So, if the ground is too hard, which usually every yard I use a hammer. So, if the ground is too hard, you just hammer it in, I guess. Um, but yeah, so I texted. I was like, guys, I don't have my hammer. I don't know what to do. And so she told my dad to um, go grab the hammer and then come find me.
She left her hammer at her first install. So my husband is very not me. And so I have no problem. I would roll up at someone's house at 10:30 at night and just pick a hammer up out of their front yard and put it in my car and keep going. My husband's not so much that person. But that, and I think you recently had a baby. So imagine your daughter texting you, "Hey, Dad, go to someone's house at 10:30 at night and just pull a hammer up out of their yard." So that's what's happening. So my husband does this, and of course, their husband comes out and is like, "Why are you picking a hammer up out of the yard?" And my husband's like, "Because my daughter left it here." But yes, to pick up the story from there.
So he got over there. We also told him to bring a light because it was pitch black. Because by the time he got there, it was like 11:30 at night. Also, I had school the next day. So, and by the time it was perfectly fine. Like I put the sign in, I got my hammering done. It was fine. But I got home at like 12:30. Had school the next day, but I think I slept in though. So it was fine. But now we don't do installs that late. I appreciate that.
So you talked about when you were working at Subway, you didn't like the schedule, and then you made the change to something more flexible with this franchise. And now that you've switched your schedule, how would you say that you balance your school, your tennis, and all the other activities you have going on with your business now?
Well, I always keep a calendar. I am crazy about my calendar. I have everything in there. Um, so yeah, I usually just do my installs first. Like after school, I usually come home, get the signs ready, and then I go do the installs or pickups or whatever I have to do that day. And then after I get like all my schoolwork done, I try to do some of it at school too, so I can get over with. Um, yeah.
How long does a typical install take you to do one sign?
Um, Depending how far away, usually they're around like 15 to 30 minutes away. So there and back. Plus, I usually take 30 minutes to install it. Um, yeah, like 30, 45 minutes.
So about 90 minutes total
Yeah.
for each job that you have, about 90 minutes.
Hmm.
And then sometimes you can combine them. So you may have a 30-minute drive and then you can do two installs an hour, and then so you may
Yeah.
do kind of consolidate it
Hmm.
back. But why don't you talk about Halloween and kind of how you coordinate with the customers on on their timing of things? Remember your Halloween meltdown?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, I was going to talk about it.
um, I
I was going to
someone
bring it
had
up.
an
Yeah.
install on
Who
Halloween.
would do that, right? Who would want to sign on
What was the
Halloween?
install?
Who would want you to
But
work
it
on
was
Halloween?
Halloween. I need to celebrate.
She said it was so she was dead serious. She goes, because we print them out for her, and she goes, "Can you believe this?" And she's pointing, she says, "Someone wants me to work on Halloween. On Halloween. They want a sign. Can you believe this?" Yeah, yeah, Jane. She goes, "No, I'm not doing it." I was like, "Yeah, you are, boo-boo, because it's money and you have a loan to pay back for your franchise. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that." So
Wait, what did I
what's the
do?
what that's what you're going to talk about. The
I
solution
don't
you came up.
remember what I did.
You talked to the customer about installing earlier.
Oh, installing that. Oh, yeah. So I installed earlier that day.
The day before.
Day before. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you looked at, oh my gosh, you're
Either I do that or I install it like in the morning, like really early in the morning if I don't want to do that at the night.
I was like, why don't you look at the calendar and see if we have anybody who is it that needs that sign the day before so that inventory is available and just ask the customer, hey, can we give you an extra free day and install it on the 30th? So you'll have it available, you'll have it an extra day for free. And of course, it was a win-win. You didn't have to work on Halloween. The customer had it a day early. It was win-win after that whole just dramatic meltdown of who would want us to work, who would ever dare ask you to work on Halloween. So we've had some dilemmas to work through, but it worked out.
Would you
What
say,
is, go ahead.
I was gonna say, would you say that's like the biggest challenge of owning your franchise is like when it doesn't work out when you're trying to figure out scheduling wise, or is it like inventory or getting the right designs? What would you say is the biggest challenge for you?
I would say the biggest one would be scheduling because also I like hanging out with my friends.
Sure.
And it's kind of hard because like usually when I hang out with my friends, like we plan like if we're hanging out on the weekend, we plan it on like Thursday or Friday. Like we don't plan weeks in advance, and I feel like I'm the type of person to be like, oh, I have this on that day. Like, can we maybe like
Well, why
think
don't you
of
talk about today's a good example? Since we had 4 installs today and 2 of them came in just this morning.
Yeesh.
yeah, so well, today was a good day for this because I don't have
Well,
really
remember Emily and Tully broke up and you were going to go on her breakup trip?
So I was gonna go on a day trip with my friends to the beach, but I can't now because the 4 Guard My Yards in one day. So, but it's okay because I'm making money.
Yeah, so yesterday she was like, "Can I go to the beach because we need to have a breakup trip to celebrate because Emily and Telly broke up and I have 2 signs." And then you kind of like rolled back to like your Halloween. You're like, "I'm gonna install those signs early. I'm gonna do them today, Friday, before I leave." And I was like, "Okay, Jane, but let's think about it. Let's say some come in because a lot of people, because I get it, birthdays come out of nowhere. My husband, every year, my birthday is a surprise to him. It just comes out of nowhere. Like, I mean, just like a missile. Our anniversary the same way. Christmas is just like, I get it. Okay. Like, know that I'm with you, my friends. Okay. So when you put your orders in at midnight and you're like, I'm so sorry, I feel you, okay? And so that's what happened. We had 2 orders come in, like 4 install today, and one of them actually the party was for 3 o'clock today. And so she's like, hey, I'm so sorry. Like we have a party. I said, girl, I got you. So so if you had put those 2 in yesterday for today that we knew about, then we had those 2, you would have had that problem. You would have been at the beach celebrating her breakup, or not celebrating, what do you call it? Like,
Celebrating.
okay. Okay, celebrating her breakup because we didn't like him anyway. But so then you would have had to like reach out to Molly to do your installs, and then we would have had that whole stress pimple come out again because she
Yeah.
doesn't put them in straight. And this is like the joys of owning a business when you're 17 and your friends break up with each other.
How do you like prevent that from happening though? Like say if you're out and say you went to the breakup celebration and you were at the beach, how do you prevent somebody from scheduling a sign? Can you?
We usually don't.
I don't permit her to block the calendar.
I'm not allowed to. So I just have to either if I plan something, pray nothing happens,
That's
or
our usual. That's prayer is our usual approach. But sometimes your dad will go, I'm not approved to put them in.
Yeah,
Um,
sometimes if I really, really am desperate, I'll ask him to do it. Um,
but that is prayer.
yeah,
Prayer is our usual one, and then usually Molly is our first go back. But you do need to. That's been on your list of things, like we talked about.
summer's coming up. I
Yeah,
need
we
to hire more
talked about
people.
that we needed to have, and we are getting busier. We just kind of want you kind of talk about how we handle the logistics of things while you're in school and and I'm in work, and kind of how we do our marketing and our back end office stuff.
Yeah, we have like a WhatsApp group chat that they tell me what signs I need to do, like where to do them, what designs they want. Um, yeah. And then
Who is in the WhatsApp group chat? Like, how do we do that?
we have our two assistants, Jean and Eris. And they are like the behind the scenes. They like call the customers, they email with them, anything, basically.
That was kind of part of my husband's concern, in addition to buying this franchise and then making sure we had it. And he's like, wait a minute, we're going to buy a franchise for her so she has a job versus her just having a job. Like, let me get my head around this. And then he works full time and I work full time and she's in school. So, and he was also really just concerned about just her safety, just her having direct access, being 16 at that time, having direct access with the public and interacting with people. And I utilize virtual assistants for my business already. And I just kind of floated it in one of our team meetings. I was like, hey guys, I'm not sure how much lift this will be, like how much extra work this will be on your plate, but would you kind of maybe help out with this? And it has become their favorite project. Like they fight over like every day, like who gets to deal with, like who gets to do the calls or who gets to do the confirmations or who gets to reach out because it's just such a creative outlet and it's so fun for them. But they reach out to the customers. This is our little doggy. I don't know if she's. Oh, hi, Sophia. Sophia is our mascot for Card My Yard.
I
Our
love
Facebook
Nice.
page, our Facebook page got hacked when we did a giveaway, and so now all of our giveaways are chosen by Sophia.
Yeah,
So
she spins around and she picks
yeah,
the.
so it's funny that she makes an appearance on our podcast, but we don't need you to choose a winner right now, Sophia. We don't need you to choose a winner. So they do all the interactions with our customers and reach out to Jane. I'll take her out. Why don't you finish saying how they help with the behind the scenes?
Yeah, so they're very passionate about their job, actually. Um, yeah, they do all the scheduling, all of that.
Do they acquire new clients for you?
Yes,
Like,
so they post a lot on our Facebook and Instagram. They also, I think they do like cold calls. They call like old client, like old, yeah, old clients that haven't like had a sign for a while, and they call them, see if they want one again, and then they call like new people too. So, yeah.
as you continue to grow the Card My Yard franchise, is that something you want to get more involved in, like the back end operations and the marketing?
I think eventually I probably, yeah, probably running like the Instagram or um
That had to happen.
or like a TikTok page or something like fun, something like that. Um and also like in the future I want to be able to hire people so it's like less stress on me since we're getting so many more signs now. So yeah, that's definitely a future plan.
Do your friends express interest in working with you?
Yeah, actually, a lot of my friends, I've told them some of them about it, and they're like, I want to do that. I want to help out because I would be paying them like pretty good money for like a 30-minute install. So, and it's also you get $2 a mile too. So,
Oh, really?
plus that, I think it's a good gig for like my parents, they forced me to get a job at 15 against my will. So I think it's good for like younger like 15-year-olds like who can't like find a job at an actual place. Like I think that's a good gig for them.
What would you say the the number one lesson you've learned so far in the year you've had the Card My Yard franchise?
I think patience, especially when I can't put the sign in and I have to keep like trying to put it in and when it just won't. Um, I think I've had to learn to just like I need to take a breath and then come back. Because it does get really frustrating when you physically cannot put the sign in.
Mm.
But I figure it out, so
I feel like that's a good skill in and of itself, of just being able to like not trying to do the same thing over and over again that wasn't working, but
Mhm.
figuring out how to problem solve a new way to get the card, the signs in, but still come out the way that you want it to come out with. Like the way you want it to come out and not like have it be, oh, this doesn't look as good as I thought it was gonna look, or um like it just in terms of my other question, like for the future, you mentioned wanting to get involved in some of the more like social side of things and like hiring people. If you had to project, let's say, what, you're 17 right now, let's go when you're 22. What would you like to see your Card My Yard franchise looking like? How do you see it unfolding or developing?
I think I would so probably when I'm in college, I'm planning on hiring like high schoolers, like younger high schoolers. Um, just having like a good group that I can rely on. Maybe like running some of our, not running, but like being like doing some of the social media, like posting some stuff on that. Yeah.
Do you want to go away far for college?
I don't really know. I am doing Wake Tech for 2 years.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm planning on transferring to like a real
University.
college after that. Um, so I really want to go to UNCW. That's like always been the plan because like I want to go to the beach and I think that'd be fun.
Did you talk about what you want to do?
Oh yeah, I'm in a CNA class right now at my school. And I can like work at a hospital this summer, so I'll also be doing that plus cart my yard. Um, and I want to be a nurse or a PA when I grow up. And I want to go to like nursing school or PA school or something like that.
What's got you interested in that?
I don't know. I've always wanted to do something like helping people. Just I've always from like since I was a kid, I wanted to be like a nurse or something or like a vet. I've always wanted to be a vet too. But I was like, no, I'm gonna be a nurse.
Oh,
No, that's cool. That's cool. A couple more questions. How have you like Jane, this will go to you first, and then Gillian, you can answer this as well. How do you feel like you've changed as a person since starting the company, since over the last year and some change? How do you feel like you've changed personally? And then Jane, what have you seen from Jane? How do you feel like she's changed?
Oh, I would say she has matured in ways I was not even expecting. I knew that this would challenge her. I knew it would make her grow, but just her problem solving and her forward thinking and her give back. She's always been someone who's been very empathetic. And who's wanted to before COVID, she had us take her to there's a retirement kind of community in the beginning, at the community center in the beginning of our neighborhood, and so she would have us take our dog there, and she would visit with all the residents, and so she's always been like that, and so to see how she has used Card My Yard as a way to give back to our community, that has really blown me away. Just to see her use that as just another extension of herself in that way.
I think I think problem solving probably. Um I think I've become more independent, I think. I think for less things, I've been less dependent
Well, that's
on you guys.
independent.
Yeah, I've been like calling you guys less if I have a problem.
Hmm.
Like I've been able to like figure it out myself. Yeah.
You're confident.
Oh yeah. I think I'm more confident now too.
What would you say to other uh teenagers your age who are interested in entrepreneurship? Like, what advice would you give them?
I would say keep a calendar, keep lists. They're really helpful. That actually keeps me going through my whole day. Um, I also think just doing it, just like if you like I did not want to do it, but then once I started doing it and I put the signs in, like it worked out. So I say just like go for it. If you have like an idea, just try it. And if it doesn't work, then you can try something else.
Yeah, no, for real. That's real. I agree with you. Um, my last question for you, in terms of like the community, and you mentioned like what you were walking the dog past the like the in the neighborhood and giving back to your community. What's the impact of when you finished a like an install and people get to see the install for the first time? What's that reaction like, and how is like the business impacted the your community as a whole?
I love when people come out and see the sign once I'm done because I've never gotten like a bad reaction to it. This one lady, she saw the sign, she came up to me and started hugging me, and she was literally about to cry. Like she was like, "Thank you so much. This is so pretty." I was like, "Oh, thanks." So it makes me feel really good that they like the signs too.
You have little kids sometimes come out and want to like
Oh
take their picture
yeah, a
with
lot of
you.
kids come out. There's this little girl, I was putting a sign in for her, and she was just standing out there with me the whole time. We were just having a conversation while I was installing her sign.
Did she know it was for her at the time?
hmm Yeah.
Cool.
It's
That's
like you're like a
rewarding.
little celebrity sign installer. Like, oh, I got a picture with Jane. She's putting in my sign.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Before like okay, I said one last question the last time. This is more like a if so anyone listening, what's one thing you want them to take away from this conversation today?
I would say be true to yourself. Jane, we didn't know what she was going to do, but she was true to herself, and that what she was doing was not true to herself. Working at Subway was not working for her emotionally. She would not cry, but she would cry every day before she had to go. She goes, I don't want to go to work today. She had the thermometer like hanging out of her mouth, like trying to have a like holding up to a light bulb, like she just did not want to go to work, but she knew she needed to. She knew she needed to, do this to get this next step, to get money for her car, to get money for college, but she just wasn't happy. And so she just kept pushing to get to a place where she was happy with what she was doing. And so I just encourage people own that and trust that if you're not happy with what you're doing, that's okay. And to trust that feeling and to push forward to find that and be open-minded that what makes you happy and what you're looking for may not be something that's traditional and maybe something kind of out of the box like a card in my yard. I don't know, what do you say?
I agree. I think just finding something that you like enjoy. I enjoy putting the signs in. I love seeing like the aftermath, like, oh, I did that. Like that looks good. Um, yeah, I think I agree.
I
If I get
love
that in writing, you agree with me.
Mm.
that. Well, now it's on the digital airwaves now, so you can't take
Exactly,
it back.
exactly.
We just want to say thank you so much for coming on and joining us. Where can people find you if they have more questions or live in Raleigh maybe and ha want to do an install? Where can they find you guys?
You got it.
Facebook at Card My Yard Raleigh. I think we have Instagram.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have Instagram. Um, I think we have all of them at Card My Yard Raleigh.
And our email, Raleigh at Card My Yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. We had all of our socials and then email. You can go to Card My Yard website in any location if you want to give a card to anyone in the country, or if you want to open a franchise for your child. I'm looking at you right there when your daughter's ready. You want to open a franchise for your child anywhere, please reach out. We're happy to chat with you as to the logistics and how to do it. It's been such a good experience for her and for our community. And I think for us as a family, it has really forced us to come together in ways, my husband and I to come together, and for us as a family to come together in ways to just really support that. It's been a great experience. But Raleigh at cardmyyard.com is
Perfect. And we'll link all those in the show notes, and you guys will have access to those when this drops. Want to thank you guys again for coming on, and we'll see y'all in the next episode of the Key and Mang Audio Experience.
Peace.